Have you ever found yourself just wrestling with a really big idea? Something so vast, maybe, or so complex it feels almost, well, impossible to get your head around, let alone explain to someone else.
Hmm.
What if there was someone, like a master guide, who could take the universe's absolutely biggest questions and not just simplify them, but actually make them resonate with you, make you feel that awe? How does someone even manage that?
It's a fascinating question, isn't it?
Today, we're really digging into Stephen Hawking's The Theory of Everything. And look, it's not just about the incredible science he talks about, which is monumental in itself.
Right.
It's a deep dive into how he communicated it, the genius behind the way he wrote.
Our mission really is to unpack the rhetorical skill that let Hawking turn super complex physics into something,
Yeah.
well, accessible and genuinely inspiring.
And it's important to mention, as you're listening, you're experiencing a unique two-host AI conversation. This is powered by Google's NotebookLM, which allows for, hopefully, a deeper and more dynamic analysis of the book.
It's pretty amazing, though, to analyze the universe's deepest secrets, sure, but then also to craft a story, a narrative that pulls millions of people in. That ability to bridge the gap between highly specialized science and just general understanding, that's what makes this book a classic. Not just in physics, but I think in communication itself.
I completely agree. And it really all starts with his credibility, doesn't it? His ethos. When we talk about Stephen Hawking, we're not just talking about any physicist.
No.
We're arguably talking about the theoretical physicist of his time.
Mm-hmm.
Decades of absolutely groundbreaking work, cosmology, black holes, those prestigious positions at Cambridge, global fame. That creates this huge foundation of trust right off the bat.
It absolutely does.
But what was it about how he connected with people beyond the titles?
Well, what's really interesting when you look closely is how that immense professional credibility, his ethos, wasn't just something he had because of his job titles. It feels like it was actively built, maintained even. Through his intellectual honesty, Hawking was always pointing out the limits of what science knew at the time.
Right.
He wasn't afraid to say, look, we don't have all the answers yet, even while he was pushing those boundaries himself. And that transparency, I think, actually deepened the trust readers had in him. It made his authority feel stronger somehow.
That's such a tricky balance in science, isn't it? To be so authoritative yet so open about what you don't know without undermining your own points.
Exactly.
And he seemed to foster this collaborative vibe too, always giving credit to other scientists. He positioned himself as part of this grand scientific quest, not just some lone genius off on his own.
Part of a team effort almost.
Yeah. And crucially, he managed to make it accessible without ever sounding like he was talking down to you. He respected the reader's intelligence, invited you into the process like you were exploring alongside him.
Precisely. That creates this immediate, quite profound sense of trust and respect. And if we zoom out a bit, this book, it didn't just appear out of nowhere, right?
No.
It landed right in the middle of one of the biggest scientific puzzles of the late 20th century. Scientists were, well, they were desperately trying to unify quantum mechanics, the really weird physics of the tiny stuff.
Why the small scale?
With general relativity, which is our big theory of gravity in the cosmos.
Yeah.
And these two pillars of physics, they seemed totally incompatible.
A huge problem. And his work was aimed squarely at that challenge, trying to find that holy grail, the unified theory of everything. But what's really remarkable, I think, is how he connected that huge scientific quest with something deeper, something more human. He tapped into those big questions we all ask.
Yeah, like where did it all come from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did the universe begin? What's our place in it all?
Yeah.
It's almost like he's inviting us right to the edge of discovery, making this giant cosmic puzzle feel like our puzzle too.
That's the power of the moment he captured. It wasn't just putting out scientific findings. It felt like a real cultural event, which naturally makes you think about who he was actually trying to reach.
Right, the audience.
He seemed to be aiming specifically at educated general readers. People like us, maybe. Folks with a real curiosity about science, but maybe lacking the hardcore math background. He knew you were interested, but not necessarily a mathematician.
So he's writing for the intellectually curious, the people want to understand, but would get totally lost in a standard physics textbook filled with equations.
Pretty much.
His main goal seems obvious: inform and inspire. He wanted us to grasp these complex ideas about the cosmos, to feel the excitement of it without needing that PhD.
Definitely. But if you dig just a little deeper, I think there's a really powerful secondary purpose going on too.
Oh.
Beyond just explaining how the universe works, Hawking was also making a pretty profound argument for science itself. He was persuading readers, subtly maybe, that the scientific method, this careful process of looking for evidence, using logic, that it really can answer the deepest questions about reality.
Ah, okay, so it's not just here's the science, but here's why you should trust this method to find the truth.
Exactly. It's almost an intellectual argument for the whole scientific endeavor as humanity's best tool for understanding.
That's a powerful layer I hadn't quite focused on before. And he does this by building his case so carefully, piece by piece, using that rigorous logic, his logos. You see it all through the book. Structured arguments, scientific evidence, deductive reasoning, a clear path forward.
He guides you meticulously. Starts with basic physics principles everyone sort of knows, then systematically builds up to the really complex theoretical stuff. And the evidence he uses isn't just abstract theory.
No, it's real observations.
Right. It's drawn from observational astronomy, from experiments in physics, complex mathematical proofs. He's showing you the solid ground these incredible ideas are built on.
It's like he's an architect showing you the blueprints, starting with the foundation and explaining how every beam and pillar fits. He uses deductive reasoning, moving from established theories like relativity and quantum mechanics toward that big, maybe speculative goal of a unified theory. He lays out the thinking step by step, like a detective revealing clues. And that logical structure, that scaffolding, it's absolutely crucial. It lets you climb these really high mountains of complex thought without feeling completely lost or overwhelmed.
That careful step-by-step logic, it really highlights the power of clear, rational thinking. Actually, for those of you who appreciate this kind of deep analysis, you might find more like it over on Mindful Moments. That's our YouTube channel. It offers AI book analysis specifically designed to encourage reflection and rational thought.
Good point. But, if it was only cold, hard logic, would the book have really grabbed the imagination of so many people worldwide?
Probably not to the same extent, no.
That's where his incredible use of pathos comes in, isn't it?
Yeah.
He pulls us into the sheer wonder of it all. He creates this powerful emotional connection through a sense of awe, intellectual excitement, and this feeling of shared curiosity about the universe.
That's exactly right. This is where the book becomes more than just information. Hawking isn't just listing facts. He's inviting you into the feeling of scientific discovery. He makes you feel the wonder of the universe's mysteries, the sheer intellectual thrill of these breakthroughs that push human knowledge forward. He shares that excitement of the chase.
Yeah, he puts us right there with him, like fellow explorers looking at these cosmic questions. It makes you feel both kind of small and humble, faced with the universe's scale, but also deeply fascinated by how it all works. And that emotional hook is so important. It's what makes the complicated science memorable. It makes you want to understand more. It feels like a shared adventure.
And he pulls this off through this art of clarity he has.
Oh, yeah.
His precise language, his style, the way he structures everything. When you read Hawking, his word choice is this careful balancing act.
Katrina, what?
Between precise scientific terms and explanations that are just remarkably easy to grasp.
He absolutely nails that balance. The tone feels authoritative, definitely, but also really approachable. He never dumbs down the science, but he works hard to make sure a general reader can follow along. It shows respect, I think, for both the science and the reader.
And the way he builds his sentences plays a big part, too. The text has this nice variety. Sometimes you get these denser, complex explanations.
Right, where he used to focus.
And then he follows up with shorter, punchier statements that help you digest it.
That rhythm is brilliant. It feels like a conversation almost. It gives you these natural pauses to think, lets your brain catch up with a tricky concept before he throws another one at you. It feels very deliberate, that pacing keeps you hooked without burning you out.
And maybe the most famous part of his style, his use of figurative language, especially analogies and metaphors. He's a master at translating these incredibly abstract physics ideas into familiar, often really vivid images.
Oh, yeah, that's his rhetorical superpower. But it's more than just finding good analogies, isn't it?
No.
It feels like his real genius there was knowing exactly when to use one, but also, crucially, when to gently guide you past the analogy, to show you its limits and point towards the actual, often much stranger reality. He makes the impossible feel tangible for a moment, then expands your thinking to grasp the true cosmic picture. It's very skillfully done.
That's a great observation. And beyond just the words he uses, the overall structure is key for handling all this complexity. He builds things up progressively, starting simpler. He often uses a problem-solution structure, identifying a puzzle and exploring answers. And he weaves in historical context.
Those strategies are absolutely essential. You need that foundation. He introduces the fundamental ideas before he starts building towards the unified theory, making sure you have the tools you need.
Right.
He lays out the scientific puzzles, the big questions, keeping physicists awake at night, and then walks you through the potential solutions, showing you the whole process of scientific investigation, the back and forth.
And bringing in the history is so important too. He shows how today's theories grew out of earlier ideas, even the ones that turned out to be wrong.
Yeah.
It gives you the whole story, the whole intellectual journey, not just a snapshot of where science is right now. You see how we got here? Through centuries of curiosity and hard work. It's much richer than just a lecture.
So when you look at the whole package, it's clear Hawking was incredibly successful. He made really advanced physics accessible, but without compromising the scientific integrity at all. His rhetorical choices, everything we've talked about, perfectly served his goals of educating and inspiring, and it was spot on for his audience.
Absolutely. His brilliance. It wasn't just in the discoveries themselves, amazing as they were. It was equally in his unique ability to communicate them. He gave you the compelling evidence, but he was also intellectually honest, always acknowledging where the research was ongoing, where there was still uncertainty. And that transparency, again, it builds so much trust. It empowers you, the reader, to think critically right alongside him, not just passively absorb facts.
It really is an achievement in communication that's hard to match, in any field, really. The theory of everything is just this prime example of effective science communication. Hawking's blend of rigorous logic, that solid credibility, and that deep emotional connection to the wonder of the cosmos. It all builds this compelling case for science's power to tackle the biggest questions we have.
Yeah, the book really bridges that gap between super specialized knowledge and just public understanding. It shows how sophisticated communication strategies can make even the most mind-bending ideas accessible without losing any intellectual depth or rigor.
And that's such a powerful takeaway, way beyond just physics. Think about it. How could that kind of masterful communication unlock understanding in any complex area? What challenging idea could you maybe make more accessible if you applied some of these insights? Engaging the mind, sure, but also the emotions, building that trust.
It's definitely food for thought. And for more insights and AI-driven book analysis like this, remember to check out Mindful Moments in our podcasts.
Definitely. Click the link you see on screen for the in-depth book summary. And please subscribe, share, maybe purchase the book using the link if you're interested. And most importantly, keep thinking rationally.